skeletons.
I know, she's kept it pretty quiet so far. It's pretty good.
Our brand new party member, Cassia.
The centaur.
The scent!
Hey, twice as many hooves means twice as hard to kill.
It's not true.
Yeah, I'm really gunning for that dragon carries me while I shoot down at things.
Like that.
I like that
that.
idea.
Good meme. It was a good meme.
Oh. How do we feel about whoever rocks up last doing the recap each week? I won't institute it this week because that would be mean. But going forward, last person in's not it. Last person in is it.
Last person in.
Yeah, does the recap.
Last person in
Looks
voice
like
chat.
me and Chloe are gonna be the team.
Well, I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles. It's totally neutral. Yeah, what is my
I'm fine with it.
Weird. I mean, obvious. I don't think Chloe is. Do we like GM recaps or player recaps? Because there are benefits to both. I like player recaps because it means I don't have to do anything talking for a while.
I think GM ones are good for like right after like a big maybe chapter ending session or like a climactic storm fight or something. But other than that, it's really fun to watch one of us have to scramble to try to remember what the fuck just happened. And it's really fun seeing the different ways we all explain the same event that none of us remember correctly.
Yeah, and
I love also when we chime in with those are the most fun where it's like somebody starts, the rest chime in, eventually being like, actually you forgot the thing that took up half the session, and it's like, so I did. Incredible.
yeah, I like that it adds personality, and I generally end up doing a mini recap, or like lead in anyway. So good. How are we starting about feeling? How are we feeling about starting? Yes.
Oh, I just you just reminded me of when Zach posted whatever about Echo roasting that Lido chick. I was so caught up in like remembering that I totally forgot that we spent half the session watching Tassia get brutally murdered in the library. So just
Probably the last 20 minutes.
Listen, emotionally, it was the whole session for me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I just sat there like laughing nervously. I was like, shit, this is happening. Like I just didn't know how to react. Never had a character die before, and I've certainly never had a DM kill me like that before. I'm just like,
So outright.
The library was safe. You thought the library was safe.
It's not. No worries.
You know what? Fuck it. Unsneaks your rogue.
She did that herself.
Unrogues your character.
But it was pretty cool, like the way
sorry, I
you
like
used Featherfall.
secrets, okay?
The Featherfall library bookshelf jump thing that she did, that was like super creative. Lauren's
Yeah,
always
it
been
was.
really creative with like all of her techniques with rogue
That's
stuff.
true.
It's desperation.
Great.
I love
I hit
Great
I
script.
love watching,
Will you let
Yeah.
me do this, please?
I love watching you guys' faces when like somebody asks, hey, can I use this spell for insert thing that the spell is totally not meant to be used for? And it's just like this pleading expression while James just sort of like mulls over how cool that would be if he lets it happen.
I don't know. I just also like using skill checks because they're not used enough. So anytime you want to do something cool, I'll throw a skill check on it to see what happens. Within reason.
Can I roll a nat 20 and just be alive?
No, that's never an option. What was I going to say? Oh, the last thing before we start. Can I nominate an individual to be in charge of the group journal? I want to nominate the person who's worst with dates and lore and knowledge, so that they need to ask the other people what happened. So tag not it. Who's up? Who are we nominating?
Oh,
All right. Thank you.
That's that's exactly it! Oh my god.
my hand was already on my face too.
Not on your nose, motherfucker! Not on your nose!
That was like a quick
Understood
draw.
what you were doing.
I was like creeping.
Yeah,
I saw Chloe creeping, and I was like, oh, it was like a standoff.
I think this is a Chloe's introduced nose rule is the most oddly picked up like child
Perfect!
management system for a group of
Let's go,
adults
baby.
I've ever seen.
That was good.
Which is
Or
yeah.
nose
So
doesn't go. I
Andrew,
confused
do
it.
you mind being in charge of the group channel? It doesn't have to be in depth, just enough to give time points and frames of reference for things. Like it can be like Storm concert, Tassia murdered,
And I took good notes, so I'll
Met
help
King.
you when I feel like it.
Yeah. Oh golly, I
Relit
sure
Forge.
can try.
um,
Is there anything in it? Okay, cool. We have. Wait, I actually did write in this a billion years ago before
Yeah.
anything else.
I know, I think I brought it up recently that the only damn thing in there was Miles was here for a while. Where it's like, hello?
all right.
That is old.
And then can I put someone who is not Andrew onto the treasure in charge of the treasure handout?
I bet
That's
you
very
tell
funny
me.
to me because Andrew was.
No,
Andrew
no, no.
has-
I don't.
Oh, has he? Oh, does Andrew want
Lord,
to?
I can
Not in
I
roll
can-
20. I've just been like
Not
on
in
the
roll
Treasure
20.
channel. I do
You mean-
math every now and then.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You mean the
a
15
I'm an
sober?
accountant. It's how it goes,
I'm an
I guess.
accountant.
A
It's-
natural choice.
It's
Yeah,
more.
typecast, yeah. Wow.
It's more to pick up like the little items I generally give people that I forget to or I've improv so that there's no actual handout or sheet. And I'm only doing this because I'm bad at taking notes, so I apologize. This is me foisting my responsibilities onto the rest of you, but that's how the cookie crumbles.
I'm really bad at maths. Otherwise,
All right.
offer to help.
How are you at names? Because the last one is the NPC list. Oh, someone's already been filling this out. Who was that?
Math only
That was also
exists in
me. That was,
That was
several
also you.
sessions ago.
Andrew's taking initiative. Ooh.
I was bored and I was looking at my notes and I was like, I know who a couple people are. I'm gonna start filling this out. It's not in depth. It's like 4 people.
Yeah, that one's less pertinent, but it's helpful. So anyone other than Andrew and Lauren want to take on just listing NPC names and giving a brief description
I can do it.
as
I'm
a
happy
quick
to.
reference? Thank you. All right.
Sweetly.
The bookkeeping out of the way. Is everyone ready to begin? Are you with us, Lauren?
She's
sorry,
tallying up all of our earnings for the past quarter.
All right.
Grab my notebook.
Figuring out if it's worth
Across
sticking
the room.
around after being murdered and made the accountant.
I can't tell you which
I
one's worse.
quit. Get killed. Now forced to do numbers.
Too close to
Oh,
home.
We have
worse.
this just
Excel.
like ghost skater following us with an abacus.
In that case, without further ado, how about we begin session 30 of Odyssey of the Dragonlords? Would the 5 of you like to do a brief recap before we return to our heroes?
Let's do one word each. We'll go around the group and everyone
Let's
says
not
one
do that.
word. Take 45 minutes.
45 minutes later, I genuinely forget where we started off last session. Oh, it was crew came back from the party and everybody woke up, including Echo. Echo got the rundown of everything that had happened since she passed out. Party crew gave us the rundown of what happened at the party. And then I can't remember if we got sidetracked on our way to go talk to Valis. I think there was something in between there.
That was the
yeah.
roast off. That was the Lido shit.
No,
that was like
the
after.
roast happened
That was
after.
there.
The
That was
Lido.
there. I thought there was something
on the way
before
in to
we
see
got.
Valis, yeah.
Well, that's where we met Lido, and then as we were leaving, that was the roast. But I couldn't remember if there was something before we went to talk to Valis. Oh, we took a long rest.
Yeah.
I think that was it. We took a long rest, laid low for a bit. Yep. Then we went and talked to Valis. Had some information given. Roasted the hell out of a teen girl who also proposed to Vander all at once. So, really, it was a lot.
Roasting going on there.
There was a lot of roasting.
Alice is very mean.
Just saying, her
Oh yeah,
dad's
Val, I
supposedly
forgot.
the most powerful man in the city, and now so that's gonna be great.
Yeah, so that was that. But we did get Lido in Valis's favor by going with and definitely being the hottest and wisest people around, I guess.
It bounces.
The wisest person in the city has a wisdom of like 11.
Yes, that's the truth. But yes, we
Just
played some
technically above
games, we got
average.
some info, roasted some teens. Did we do anything then before we split up? After that?
Well, other than the most tense game of Chinese checkers that I've ever fucking
Look,
seen.
Ancient Game of Ur, let's go. Oh.
Oh, we need no dragon Sephirin. Sephiron.
Yeah, Sephiron. Yeah.
Vander named his dragon Sephiroth. Yeah.
Yes. 20-foot sword.
Ambrosia's pissed because Kyra brought a shitload of fish into our bedroom for the dragon to learn to fish. That was, I think, what I forgot. I was like, Ambrosia's mad at us for something, and I can't remember why. That's why.
DM told me to ration them, or the dragon will get fat.
Yep.
I've got stuff. Okay, during Cesaria's game with Valis, we learned that every Dragonlord had a kindred spirit, and Xander was. How do you pronounce the first name? Justina? Yasna? Whatever.
Yasna.
Ventrak.
Yeah, Xander and Yasna were kindred spirits. Every Dragonlord had one, apparently. He saw the good in everyone. He knew what Yasna was gonna do, so he did one small mercy, which is basically reset her entirely. She's a new person. His death sealed the Dragonlord's fate because they're already crumbling. In retribution for Yasna's actions, her dragon was captured by the people of Arisia, the regions. Yes. And they killed her dragon, and then they started a war with Mytros. But the reason for the war nowadays, most people don't even know. And we discovered that Yasna made a deal, or was tricked by Lutheria, I believe. Because Lutheria promised to return her to home because Yasna was tired of saving a world that didn't belong to her. So
I actually have a question. This is less about the session. Just you said each Dragonlord had a their drift compatible person. How many OG Dragonlords were there again? 6?
No,
6.
No. The Dragonlords were like kindred spirits. That was more metaphorical. They're like band of brothers type of thing. They have oaths sworn, which were the dragons they rode. That was their like tight bond, but otherwise it was more like they had a fellowship.
But there were 6. This is related to a different conspiracy theory.
6 and Damon, right? Am I wrong about that?
6 and Damon.
6
Maybe
and
I'm
Damon.
wrong. I could totally be wrong.
That goes without further ado. Let us return once more to the library in Mytros. Echo, you have come into the library amidst commotion, seeing a young blue tiefling man you had briefly met in the streets before, looking down at a puddle of blood, a crossbow bolt in his hands, a confused and horrified look on his face, and a group of other young students at this late hour gathered around. Tassia.
Echo has a moment for a second, where she just like is staring at, like you're staring at something and it feels like you're staring at it for ages, but it's really just a split second. She's just staring at the blood. And then, were you gonna say something else before that?
Tassier's dead.
Did I interrupt you? Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah. And there's just a giant blood puddle. Alright.
The body gone.
I will point to one of the students. Place the academy on high alert now. The attackers could still be here. And I'll point to another one. You bring me divination wizards as soon as you can. And I'm gonna hold on to Artie. Tell me what happened. Everything.
So I thought you were about to go for like emergency response. You in the yellow toga, call 911. You in the blue skin.
Give me a trauma blanket, damn it!
Get the AED! God.
It seems much of that had already begun. I think. Well, I briefly want to go to the others who are shopping. The day grows late, and you've acquired most of what you had found. Where would you return to the academy to meet the others? Would you return to the Siren's Roost? Where dost thou go?
Do you want to say, while like this very dramatic moment happens and Tassia is dying, Sazira and Miles are doing like that 80s movie thing where they're sitting outside a changing room as Vander comes out with like various outfits on, and we're all just going like, yeah, no, and it's very cute.
Very much trying to help Vander pick his clothes. Sazira's like, do I buy a bow? I might buy a bow. We'll see about it.
Showing Vander in like rollerblades for some reason.
That's correct. Would
Neon
we?
booty shorts and suspenders.
Yep, that's it.
I think we'd go to the academy, knowing Echo, she's gonna be there for a while trying to relate to a teenager, so it's a fair assumption that we'd have to go get her.
Yeah. With your spoils, so to speak, in tow, you head up the academy as the sun falls behind the horizon. As darkness claims the area, and is only backlit by the magical illumination of the various torches and spells within the academy, you can see that multiple guards now patrol the area, and you're immediately stopped by one of them. I think we briefly sort of montage as you are able to make your way through, and you find Echo and Arite stood before this pool of blood. Arite, having held the crossbow bolt in his hands, is able to relay what he's already told Echo. All he saw was Tassia running. A black figure behind her in the room beyond. Tassia bleeding, and a bolt driving straight through her throat. After that, for him it was all a blur. He was unable to save her as her life bled out. He ran to find others, returning to find no body, and only the single bolt left behind. What would you all be doing in the next few moments?
Echo's on the verge of tears. She looks like she's trying to hold it together and like figure this out, but she's on the verge of tears, and when everyone else comes, she's just like, she does that thing where she turns around and it's like...
Sazira is disbelieving for sure the concept that, oh, I'm sorry, the blood on the floor and the crossbow bolt is all that remains of Tassia. This is bullshit. And she is a bit speechless from it and is still kind of like looking around as though what
Oi, I look up at Echo. There'll be plenty of time for that later. You, Artie. What did this person look like? The shooter.
He shakes his head and says, I didn't see them very well. I was focused on Tassia. She was dying in front of me. A black cloak, ivory white face, burning eyes. That's like a spirit.
Right, discounting any Studio Ghibli characters, does that sound familiar to anyone here?
Being from the city, does that sound, or having spent significant time in the city, does that sound familiar at all to Vander?
Let's get rid to roll a knowledge history check. At this point, many of the Mytros Guard are prowling through the library itself, as are many what look like more militant wizards in the academy. What did you roll?
Oh, our sweet boy!
6.
Echo rolled a 26.
With the 26, Echo, you've heard of spirits haunting people, of specters returning to life to gain vengeance, given an opportunity by even the Lady of Death for a soul to finish their unfinished business and exact revenge. Revenants as horrifying wraiths. You've also heard of various cults that may fit the description, but nothing so egregiously, what would the term be? Yeah, nothing so egregiously specific as black cloak, white face, glowing eyes. Well, that description itself isn't necessarily specific, and so unfortunately it does match a lot of various descriptions. Yeah, but those are your two leads. Either an angry spectre or a potential group of cultists.
Alright. Is it possible for me to cast Detect Magic not ritually?
Not ritually, yes. Yeah, it is. At this point you can see and hear many of the Mytros Guard talking amongst one another, indicating that those at the front of the library have not seen or heard anyone matching any of those descriptions come into or leave the library recently.
It's just the pool of blood, right? There's no, like, blood trail.
There is a blood trail.
Tassia's got...
It leads back
there is.
from where Arete had said Tassia was running from.
From where the pool is, can I look around for any other signs of, like, possible scuff marks that might have been made by a hooved person being dragged?
Yeah.
Or... stuff like that.
Yeah, so from what I understand, you generally want to investigate the area around to see if there's any evidence of, well, more evidence of foul play and potential evidence of where this body has gone. It sounds like Echo is delving into perhaps the magical side, which is already being somewhat done, but having her own eyes on it. Megan, Zach?
If Zira... Sorry, you
Sorry.
go. No, you go.
You do it.
I meant
Okay,
Vander and Cesaro.
Sanders probably just with his hands on his head, just pacing, just sort of looking in disbelief, just jittery. Doesn't really know what to do with himself.
So Zira was in a bit of a shell shock state at the same time when it became clear that this was not a shitty elaborate prank. But she, I don't even think it's not, I don't think an actual thing, but she will begin also investigating around, seeing if she picks up any sense or anything of note, anything that she might notice. But yeah, she's gonna investigate the scene, see if there's any way. Look, she's a cat. I fucking knew it was Andrew laughing over there. She's a big cat. What do you want?
And the second you said she's gonna start looking around, I'm like, please say you use your nose.
Yes, of course. Dude, like, all else fails, she is a very large cat. But no, she'll be investigating around, looking for any physical clues, anything lingering in the area that she might spot.
Yeah. Nobody has been allowed out of the library, only in, and a few of the arcane schoolmasters occasionally come over to the rest of you, questioning. Vander, you actually recognize the captain, who is currently overseeing the investigation.
It's Gaios.
It's not Gaios. It is your old troop mate. Gosh, roll 20. Come on, work with me here.
Your old troop leader, Scoutmaster Dan.
Idrios?
Of the Eagle Scouts.
Come on.
He knows how to tie a rope.
All right. Captain Adrios. He simply tells you that, well, first of all, there's a brief moment of sort of recognition that passes over him, and sympathy. But he also acknowledges the fact that now's not the time for reminiscing. He lets you know, quite sternly, that nobody's left or come into the library, that they'll be doing a full sweep, questioning everyone. But for the moment, and he says, sorry, Vander, stuff like this happens every day in the city.
How could we let this happen to her? We should have stayed together. Is there anyone who knows the grounds? Maybe there are secret passages, or they have to be here somewhere.
That's up to the headmasters. We'll be speaking with the library keepers, but there's only one entrance in and out that anyone's aware of. Yeah, and I think the rest of the night sort of passes as Cesar and Miles, you go about your investigation. There is little to go off of. No scrap of evidence of the killer, nor of Tassia. Echo, magic beams throughout the entire library. It is the library of an arcane academy. So you look for any threads, any sense of the weave that are out of place. You can give me a knowledge arcana check as you do so.
Okay. When she does detect magic, she gets the snake eyes. Like real, everything is just like the entire snake eye. But she's also like crying, not crying audibly, but like tears as she's going. She's like, okay, knowledge arcana.
23. You do sense magic that seems out of place in the room beyond, where Arate said Tassia had been running from, and where he had seen the figure. It is strange, ill-fitting, gloomy. It is a combination of illusion and conjuration magic. But that's all you find during your time within the library. It's a while before anyone is even allowed out. Even you Heroes of the Storm and Companions of Tassia, none of you are really set as potential killers. In fact, it seems that Captain Helios indicates that Arate is the primary suspect. But not having a body is a significant what would the term be? Roadblock to pinning any crime on anyone at this point. If there's no body, there's been no murder. Such as the justice system here in Mytros. It is not until the early mornings of the dawn that you are exhausted, tired, and unfortunately without hope as to the whereabouts of your missing companion, your dead companion, or her murderer, if Arate is to be believed.
So this whole time we're at the library, what is Artie doing?
It seems for the most part he's sat in shock nearby the pool of blood. He has the bolt that he claimed he picked from her next to him. And as time wears on, he seems to have fallen asleep. Or at least being unable to keep his eyes open. He's not doing much.
Throw a pebble at him from across the room.
What? You
Oh,
do
he
have a
wakes
pocket
up.
full of pebbles?
It's a fucking stone library.
Oh, was there anything in particular you wanted to achieve with throwing a pebble at him?
Let's see how he reacts.
Oh, he wakes up frightened, terrified. Skittish. But nonetheless, the drudgery of dawn comes as the opportunity for grief does so as well. And as you step out into the light, exhausted, and out of the dim illumination of the library itself, the first intrusive beams of light wash over the city and yourselves. Where are you all going? What are you all doing?
Can we
City.
just grab... Oh, sorry.
No, you go. Go ahead.
Can we have grabbed the bolt from Artie? That's it.
Yes. Yeah, I keep wanting to do, what is it? Police procedural tropes. But it's like it's ancient Greece. So it's kind of like, well, is there a body? Nope, nothing we can do about it. There's no DNA testing. There's no profiling. It is just a case of who's there to bear witness. And right now there is only one.
To be fair, DNA testing is a 6th level spell.
That's, yeah. I mean, you could do Speak with Dead, but you have no body, so you can't even do that.
We got
Also
nothing.
means
But I guess
that
as
Yeah.
as we leave the library, like, sure, maybe we walk outside, but Caesar just kind of turns to the rest, and she just looks like she isn't quite processing this. There has to be somewhere else we can begin to check. This can't be it. This isn't
Of course it's
it.
not. Of course it's not. Did you see a body?
No, that is the problem.
Exactly, then there's no proof she's dead. If anybody else has any other ideas, I vote we go to the Temple of the Fife. We gotta talk to the Queen.
Do we
She's
think
at the
she'll be willing
palace.
to help us?
She better be. Or Well, I don't know where the fuck Cairo would be, but at least I have a vague idea of where the queen would be, so.
Was
Wait.
the queen?
Out of character, did Kyra ever give an oath protection to Vander and Tassia? No. Ugh.
Beans, that's why you can die. The rest of us are immortal.
No, we're not. We just have a portion of.
Shh, don't tempt him. I'm immortal until proven wrong.
Well, let us that is maybe we should find Kyra before we go to Valis, because I would still much rather ask Kyra and see if she can help, and she knows Tassia too.
You know where to look?
Kyra's only been to a few places that we at least know of back at where we're staying, and I don't even know. I don't think we've tried to check out her places. We don't know where she goes. Better, you know what? We are pretty publicly staying at Ambrosia's place, because I forgot the name of the place we're staying. We are pretty publicly staying there. If she's maybe there, or if she's caught wind, I'd better there.
And the sultry stepbrother.
God damn you. Siren's Roost. Yeah. Caesar at least would rather go to Kyra first than Valis, but
Fine, but if she's not there, we're going to the temple. We're on the clock here.
I am well aware.
As we leave, I'll just clap Adras on the shoulder and say, I'm glad it's you here. I know you'll do a good job. I was going to come by the barracks and talk, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon.
Less interesting times. I hope.
Me too.
You have a nice dragon. That's new.
I imagine he's probably just sleeping and curled up in Vander's arm. Yeah, there's so much that's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Ah. Well, it seems like Christos owes me 5 gold. Good luck. If we hear anything about your companion, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
He bet that Tassia would die first.
As we're walking away, Vander will look back at the library and just burst into tears. She's not
She's
holding
right
back.
there with him.
He's just sobbing.
She's unsigned. Success.
Caesar is very much feeling the same way, and has just a hand on each of their backs. Oh no.
Alright, you're all gonna stop that right now. Right? Nut up. You can cry once we have any proof that she's actually dead, but for now, eyes on the prize, alright?
I mean, yeah. Fine.
I'll give Nick the bolt. The killer bolt. With the blood on it and everything. Just in case we need it.
Did you roll me investigation check? Sorry, Nick. I meant to do that. And
oh no, never did.
Oh no.
I assumed you didn't find anything.
You don't have much to go on, and I went, yeah, damn. Huh.
Okay.
I'll roll one though. Shit.
Investigation. Okay.
22 for Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar. You pick up a cloying scent of wolfsbane. You also identify that poison is mixed onto the bolt. Separate from the scent of wolfsbane, poison is mixed onto the bolt itself, amongst the blood. And you see that the sort of dark colour, you've seen it before in your times of war, and a part of your instinct recognises that it is arterial. And there's enough blood that someone of Tassia's size would have bled out and died, if not given immediate magical attention. You also as you move about. With the 22, yeah, you also recognize that there is a small section of the library that appears linked with the orrery, having an orrery of itself, a device used for transplanar communication and transportation, but there's no signs of its use in recent times. You also notice that several of the magical illuminating orbs and torches that sit around are being extinguished, their magic drained. Nick finds no sign.
A quick question for those of us with lower intelligence scores. What the fuck is an orrery?
An orrery? It is a mechanical, almost mini planetarium. It is a device used for, like the representation of different systems, clockwork, generally a clockwork, mechanical item. Yeah, that's right.
I'm on board.
And yeah, very few people outside of the academy would even be aware of what an orrery is or does. Yeah, despite its setting, there are many mechanical and clockwork items, devices, creatures within Thalia, although very few have the knowledge to understand them fully. Still,
Sazira fucking points out all of it, from the wolf's bane to the poison, very grimly, the arterial blood, as well as the lighting, and the orrery as well. So everybody is aware of those components that she has found. And with each passing moment they were in that library, just more and more grim.
I'm really glad you did do that, because my next step was to lick the bolt. So...
I'm super glad you did. I can almost, you know what? I can almost picture like the two of them investigating the bolt, and Miles leading him, just like Zira just grabs him by the front of the face and is like, no.
She was investigating something. There was some sort of professor. Wrote 2 different tomes. Professor Aquila. A Fear of the Future and Soul Solution were the novels that she picked up, or scrolls.
It was related.
Yes, maybe. I'm sorry, I left her behind.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted Echo while Echo was still talking.
No, it's okay. I was like blurting something, so.
Were the scrolls that Tassia was studying left behind?
Both are gone. You can even find where she had sat. There's perhaps something left of Tassia's behind, maybe like a small mug or water skin that she was keeping as she was reading into the late hours that you recognize as her own.
There's a little fluffy-tailed ass print on the bench. I'm sorry, this is all very sad. I'm trying to bring a little levity to it.
No other signs of
She's dead!
what was found.
Oh.
You don't know that.
But you all
Zira now definitely knows that, like, for sure.
walk through the late morning, tired and exhausted. I'm gonna need you all to roll a DC 10 Constitution saving throw to save off the late night exhaustion.
Jesus Christ, as if you even need one.
I hate wasting a nat 20, son of a bitch.
Hey.
Can I bless myself for this?
Can you bless yourself for it?
Yeah. Like a
bless
little coffee bless.
Bless only lasts 1 minute. So I don't think so.
At 11:59 p.m., Echo casts Bless on herself.
It's like a 4-hour energy.
You're fine.
For a minute.
So it seems that adrenaline and grief, for whatever reason, do not drain you, but instead keep you going. As you make your way through the otherwise empty streets of the early morning. Guardsmen, slaves, masons and craftsmen. The various workers of the city, oblivious to the death of your companion. A few of them recognizing those of you who stand out more. Less discreetly, and hailing you with your various epitaphs. But you find your way back to the Siren's Roost to find Kyra, to try and find answers. The cold stone, naked wind, and an emptiness is all you find as you awake. The rest of you return to the Siren's Roost. And find that someone has made their way into your own quarters. Lauren, as you open up, would you like to describe your new character?
You're dead, James.
So, as you walk into the room, you actually see kind of like a path of ruin almost. Like there's things kind of thrown about the room, and you actually see 2 books. One that has blood splattered on it, and if you look around, you'll see kind of like a blob in the... Well, actually, if you look at the bath, you see bloody clothing floating in the pool, and a blob of, like, blankets and pillows in the corner, currently drinking out of a large bottle of liquor.
Mic feedback off. Mic off.
Poke it not very gently with my sword.
Oh, Zira is hoisting this thing up, like...
Before you even really get close, you find Tassia poking her head out, and she says, "Would you believe me if I said it was an elaborate escape?" No? Me either. And then she just drinks more.
James, you're dead! How dare you!
Fuck, Zira fucking walks over, and whatever sort of wineskin Taz is drinking from is like thrown to the side. She is being hoisted up and shoved against the wall. Uh-huh. No, you're not. You are dead. Are you actually Tassia? You're going to have to say so now, or I'll be honest, I probably won't hesitate in killing you quickly.
I like to
cast
know that
plane
too.
shift to go to the real world and kill the DM.
Mic feedback
Roll me an
on.
Arcana check,
Mic on.
DC 50.
DC
Nothing, baby.
50.
Off.
That's nothing. I got luck points. Not how they
Spend
work.
all
Even
Oh
while
my
Sazira's holding her up, Vander's gonna like slide underneath and just give her a big hug, just like full on like wrap her up and probably pick her up and yeah.
I think as kind of both Sazira and Vander co-author, I think she kind of starts laughing. It's like a weird mix of laughing and crying at the same time. And she's like, I thought this was some kind of weird dream. I don't really know what's going on. And she's shaking.
happened to you? What happened?
Yeah.
You're okay. Oh.
I don't know,
Are you?
really. I was drinking. Well, I'm drinking now. I was reading, and I heard something weird. Or, I don't know, just something was off. And the next thing I know, there's a knife in my back. That wasn't pleasant. And so I climbed on top of a bookcase. That wasn't really a good idea. But they were blocking the door. And then Arete was there. And then I got shot. And I just don't really remember what happened, but I woke up here and I felt like shit. And she like looks very seriously at whoever's waiting for her. I felt really bad. Like really bad. I still don't feel very good. Well, I'm pretty sure I died. I think I died.
Based on the poison and the blood, that was sort of the case. Yeah.
There was so much
She
blood,
kind of,
yeah.
giggles more, and then like she's just like kind of having a rough time, and she's definitely very drunk at this point.
Oh, do you have a dagger?
Ooh.
But I woke up and I thought I was dreaming that whole thing, because she like touches her neck and like pulls off the like sheet to like show like her back and everything, and there's nothing. No wound, no scar.
Can I?
I thought I just had a really bad night drinking and then had another nightmare.
Huh.
Knife.
Wait,
Nick,
Nick
if you stab me, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick you so hard you're never gonna forget.
I'm not gonna stab you. Go, please.
I give him a dagger. I echo so like trying not to cry. Just saying.
Like
Hold it
insight
out
check?
to-
I don't know if I
I hold
trust
it out
that this is
to-
actually Tassia.
I hold it out to Tassia Hilt first. You're gonna stab yourself.
Oh wait, no,
No,
hold
I'm
on,
not.
no,
Just a little-
no,
I
good,
know
take that
that
knife.
Just a little bit on the arm.
She's
I see
drunk.
blood
She's
right now.
drunk.
Look at this. Look at this. And she starts pointing out the different scars. I can tell you, I can still get hurt. And look, and she like points to her shoulder where she definitely got like slashed by the Minotaur's axe, and there's a scar there. That hurt. I remember that. That's pretty recent. You saw that happen.
Well,
I'm not
no,
stabbing
seriously,
myself.
please,
I already feel like
just
shit.
fine, just a little slice on the finger. Just indulge me.
What is the point of this?
Speaking
To
of
watch her
which,
bleed?
I should have
Yes.
rolled this actually. Look,
Sarah would like to insight
don't feel
check
very
to see
good.
if this is Tassia.
I only have.
If it's. Oh,
Nick doesn't know what an insight check is. He knows that living things bleed, okay?
the dearest tra-
I'm just gonna like hold out a finger and like prick it. Is that good enough? Does that work for you?
She bleed?
Mic feedback on.
Black
Mic on.
smoke. No, yeah, she bleeds.
Okay,
guys
you
all
don't
look
get
at
the
me
knife
like I'm
anymore.
crazy, but if we have to fight a fucking changeling Tassia in 2 sessions, it's on your asses.
I would be. Sazira's like fucking sniffing, being like, is this Tassia? Do the mannerisms seem right, even though she's drunk? And does this seem like my friend or not? Oh. +0 in insight. I don't even know if insight's the correct thing here, but. James, I don't know what to roll.
To see if I'm real.
Insight?
Just you. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Checking before rolling. 18. Do I believe that this is fucking Tassia?
She tastes like Tassia? Lick her face.
Oh god.
I do not lick.
Have
my
you
friend.
licked Tassia before?
No! Sazira's never licked Tassia in the first place! It would not help!
Okay, who here has licked Tassia? A skeptical
None
eye.
of us.
Probably the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon. Could be.
They don't mix business with pleasure.
Yeah, I think
He bit everyone. That's close.
you've never seen Tassia quite act like this, and so your trepidations are not entirely assuaged, but there is a recognition in the sort of self-driven oblivion past her eyes that is a Tassia you've been a companion with for a while, and I think Sephirion, sniffs Tassia and then goes about back into the pool. So there's no alarm on his account either.
Is there a little nibble and then go swimming?
Yeah.
Little nibbling swimming. Caesarus still is, very much on edge just based on the state Tassie is in, but she does settle back a little bit. So,
Cassie
okay,
keeps
so you
touching her throat, especially like you just kind of see her just like.
So
Put on
you
fire.
told us.
Did you get rude?
Turn of fire. Yep.
Take a level in druid.
Level and Druid. So you told us what happened. We heard from people kind of what they saw from a distance. It was very fast for them. Did you see properly anybody that was attacking you, or see where they came from at all?
I got a really good look at the guy who stabbed me. He was right in my face, and I recognized, I think, one of the other people. There were 3, by the way. I should have said that. The one that stabbed me and shot me, I think. I didn't really see who shot me. Had a mask on. He was wearing all black. But then he had this
Mic
white
feedback on.
mask
Mic
on. I didn't know what it was, I don't think, but I didn't really stop to look. I just tried to get away. You know, that's my thing, just run away when you're outnumbered. And really, that first stab, he must have put poison on the blade too, because oof. It was hard to climb up on that bookcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's going to kind of like look around. And then she sees Echo and she goes, "Oh, thank God. I thought Echo would be
Mic
coming back
feedback
any
off.
minute."
Mic off.
And and then she just kind of.
Echo is
Quiet
like,
down
you know
there.
that gif where there's just tears of Walt. She's quietly watching from the corner, holding. Well, Miles has the bolt. I'm gonna go over, and if I can I just like I did before, brush her hair behind her ear, and like, does she feel warm? Does she feel like?
She like grabs her hand and like holds it, and she's like, "I'm so glad you didn't come back. I'm not very lucky. I feel like this stuff happens to me all the time, but if you would have been there, it wouldn't have gone very well.
If I had been there, I would have been able to stop this. I should.
You know, that poison blade was really not friendly. I don't know if you could have. And the last thing I remember, I saw Rete running towards me, and I just was so happy you weren't there. Because I don't need anybody else to die because of me, you know?
I'm gonna take her hand. Does she still have her father's ring?
Yeah. It's just all her other belongings that are kind of strewn. Just like she just like was like throwing things off of her.
I'm just gonna hug her. I'm gonna give her a hug. I'm so sorry.
I should be the one apologizing. It's really my fault.
It could possibly be your fault. No one expects to get jumped at the fucking library.
You died and got
I know.
stabbed. Not your fault.
I get jumped all the time. At least I did before I was with you guys. But generally, I'm better at getting away. Although that's not true. They did try to jump me when we were in Astoria. Not the
Wait,
guy
what?
with the mask,
What?
but the other two. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I was just shopping, grabbing some supplies.
Why
And-
exactly would people be jumping you?
They followed you from
Regular.
Astoria. That's
Because I'm a piece of shit. That's why. I assume. And well, there's always just been people who didn't like me. Especially the superstitious.
I can see where she's coming from there. Hypervigilance is a result of being widely hated.
yeah, but this doesn't sound like any ordinary thing. They followed you from Astor to here. Astoria.
Yes. It seems planned and deliberate.
Superstitious racists don't pay you for assassins.
I don't have to be racist to hate me. I'm... And she kind of like keeps hesitating, like she feels like she should say something.
I'm gonna cast Suggest Person.
You guys should really hate me.
And I'm gonna place my hand to her face and say, Tassia, I suggest you be forthright and honest and open with us.
Mic feedback.
Who do I roll
It's-
for that again?
Nothing. It's up to you whether you want to save or pass. Save or fail.
Mic feedback off. Mic off.
Sorry, Lauren.
Wisdom save? I mean,
Yeah.
she's going to try to save, but she doesn't. Oh, I should be at a normal, but
You're allowed to. You're a player. You're
wait.
allowed.
Yeah.
If it's a player doing something like
yeah,
It's
she
obvious to
would
the
have
rest
tried
of
to
us that,
save.
that Echo just cast a spell on Tassia.
Yeah.
She frowns and says, "That's not very nice of you." But then she kind of like starts spitting out words. There's something wrong with me. There always has been, and everybody's always known. And I always knew, and I try to stay away from people. But you guys were my only hope, so I decided I would follow you. And the Oracle was supposed to tell me things, and she didn't tell me anything. And then your weird depressed friend from earlier said something, and so I was like, alright, I'll just keep following you, and then... and it's like going off like that, like it's a stream of like kind of incoherent nonsense, but...
You've
It's
so you
very
met Otis
forthright.
then.
Yes. Yeah?
Oh my
Otis?
god, that's great. I love that he's our weird depressed friend.
I mean, how better could you describe him? You can't.
It's very apt.
Caesar, while this stream is happening, Caesar just places one giant paw hand on Tassia's shoulder and gives it a squeeze. You seem to be, and she does give Echo a look briefly, just shakes her head.
I can't remember how many times I've died now. Now I'm looking back, I think there's more than one.
Okay, hold on, wait. We're going to stop on that one.
Yep, yeah.
Could you explain that a bit more?
Well, I always tried to think of how I survived the accident that killed my parents. And I just thought maybe some sick person saved me and then put me back after
I am literally the only person you cannot be asking this because I cannot give you the correct answer. I am sorry.
All I'm gonna say
No.
is, you all treated me like I was crazy for saying we were immortal.
We are not immortal.
I'm not one of you, though. Valis knows
you are.
it.
do you
Kyra
mean?
probably knows it.
You are
No,
one of
you
us,
are one
and
of us.
ignoring both of them who usually don't know anything. Clearly. So do you think these people knew that? Or
No.
are they after you for another reason?
I don't.
Because I imagine they did not think you would wake up and be somewhere else and be super alive after presumably they left you super dead.
I would assume if they knew, I would be in some dark room in some dark basement being tortured or something. Or at least locked up, but I'm guessing torture. Yeah. But you're missing the important part. And she kind of like grabs you again and says, I have used you this whole time. Why don't you guys hate me?
What could you possibly have been using us for?
Yeah, used us for what?
We're not that useful.
That, you know.
Well, I'll admit, for a time there, I thought maybe I was supposed to be here because I pulled Zero off of many ledges / saved her from falling to her death a couple times.
You've saved my life multiple times over. Like, I can count on my hands. Just go on though. Why you think you've been using us?
I wasn't supposed to be here. Even Valis knew when she saw me. I have no reason to be here, no connection. Other than that, I've always known I'm bad news.
First of all, I wouldn't put too much stock into what that shrew says. Secondly,
You just
we're all
confirmed
using each
something
other.
I already knew.
What was that?
I have dreams almost every time I fall asleep. And every time I've had these dreams, people die. And I thought if I just kept trying to beat this, then I would save everyone, or at least those who weren't already dead. But it also... people aren't wrong about me. When my village kicked me out, it probably was for the best. Although I guess they didn't technically kick me out. When I am with people too long, when I start to care about them, I start having dreams. And every time without fail, when people start showing up in these dreams, which do not bode well, soon enough they end up dead. And I thought if I just was with you guys and just didn't care, well, that would be easy. Trying to jump into things you shouldn't and almost dying all the time. Then it would be fine. But even Aquila, she should have been fine. But she wasn't. And I wasn't there.
What do you mean? What
and
did you learn? You knew Aquila.
She was my mentor. She took me in one time. She saved me, actually. And I stayed with her for a while, and she taught me how to use my magic, kind of. At least she helped me. And I kept going on those stupid jobs because I wanted to be useful. And anytime I tried to do it the right way, anytime I tried to do the jobs that Aquila would get for me, never worked out for one reason or another. And so one day I came back and she was dead. And I don't want to come back to you guys dead. It's always my fault, and I've seen you in my dreams since we left the labyrinth. It doesn't bode well for your timeline.
Well, here we all got about a year left anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
That is... I mean, he's like a little bit right in that we're already trying to do the thing that is impossible, aren't we? We already have bad luck just based on the shit we've been directed to try and do and the amount of people that have died trying to do this before us. So
you stop me from ending the world. She kind of laughs and like slumps back. I think I might be ending the world. And I don't know how and I don't know when. But it's not good.
I think we could probably stop you from ending the world. I think we could probably do that. We can... Okay. I'm going to need, like, a little bit soon to think about what you have said, because that is a lot. The important thing, though, that we did skip over for a little bit. You got attacked in Astoria. Or at least they attempted to jump you and you got away.
Well, they were following me, and I thought it was kind of rude. So I messed with them a little bit, and then headed back to the boat.
It was super rude.
Clearly that wasn't funny to them. So.
No, but I don't think you messing with them is why they came back. I hope not. Terrible sense of humor then. But, one, do tell us if people are following you, so that we can keep you alive, please, for things like this.
There was another weird thing. At the party,
yeah.
I supposedly had a secret admirer that wanted me to meet them in the gardens.
Yeah, Bella's really getting
That's
around.
pretty weird. That's pretty weird for me. Like, I'm hot. I get it. But, like, nobody likes me ever, first glance. In fact, generally they look at me and immediately think, no, no, no. Whether or not it's the rogue thief thing, my rugged good looks, or the general sense of doom people tend to get when they're around me.
That is unfair. I do not think you have a general sense of doom around you.
Well, you'd be the first to not think so.
Did you just say general sense of doom?
Yes.
General
No.
sense of doom.
You know what I mean.
Oh, so a secret admirer at the party, and
But-
the two there.
Is Argy okay? They didn't get him right.
At some point, you should probably visit the college and just tell him, hey, the blue guy didn't kill me, so, like, maybe you can arrest him.
We do have a meeting in the next few days. I want to get to that too, but that makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah, he super thinks you're dead.
You know, I found something
I can't
curious.
believe they tried to kill me. And then she just like stands up suddenly. That's really shitty. People don't kill me. I always get away.
They did kill you.
I should make sure they know they failed. I should make sure they know so that I can come after them and I can kill them right back. See if they come back alive, and then it'll be a nice fun chase around and around.
You should hydrate and take a long nap.
She's her
Absolutely not.
We're super
Oh,
yes going to kill the people that killed you, but we'll get to that at some
Tomorrow.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe the
It
day
is the
after.
middle of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, maybe the day after. Why do you recognize or know anything about these people that would be the reason they would be coming to kill you?
Well, I was thinking of the groups that would be mad at me for some reason, and I thought there's really only two that I know of, and everyone else is just sort of up in the air. You know, there's a lot of rich people that probably would want to, and they're kind of their own third group.
What
But
groups?
it's either, since one of them was a satyr. I don't think I knew who they were, though. I don't think it's some crazy religious person from my hometown. Or the Cult of the Snake, but even that seems iffy sometimes, but I don't know. I wasn't really super far into their ranks, so maybe that's how they operate. I figured they'd send someone else after me, or I don't know, be more recognizable. And actually, question, James. I didn't recognize anything about the mask,
Mic
right?
feedback on. Mic on.
The mask was ivory white, only two sort of eye slits in it, revealing anything beneath. But the edges of it were encrusted with strange small gemstones and runic lines.
Who
I
kind
don't
of
think-
describe this, people?
I don't think at this point
You-
you recognize it. It draws no memories.
Mic feedback off. Mic off.
I don't know who it was, but clearly someone who wants me dead. Which means they probably don't know about the whole no death thing because, well, here I am. Mission
That or
failed.
they're testing you. For some reason. Your ability to.
Sweet. Sorry.
You create an illusion of this mask so I can memorize it.
Yeah, she'll cast minor illusion and try to make
Mic
an
feedback on. Mic on.
a copy of what she saw to the best of like what she remembers.
Right. You can either try and focus on the style of the mask and what it looks like, or you can focus on the intricate small runic carvings and have a sort of vague understanding of what the mask actually looked like. In either case, you'll need to roll me a knowledge arcana check. As you focus on the
Alright.
illusion.
She does have a disadvantage on this because she's still at exhaustion levels.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go for the. Ooh, I don't believe in her ability to do this, so I think I'm gonna go for the accuracy of the mask instead
Okay.
of the runes. 16.
16. Echo, you recognize it. It is a mask used by practitioners who associate with a fallen city. Its sort of facelessness represents being cut off from what it once was. The lack of mouth and nose represents a self-imposed silence. The city is one which once worshipped the Titans and has now plunged beneath the waves because of their arrogance.
Wait, is this the Siren City?
Atlantis!
Yeah.
The city that sirens are still sad about?
Yes.
As we're gonna... It's like 10 levels later, but we are gonna find Atlantis. I'm putting it on the fantasy bucket list.
I will recite this knowledge. Was it just sirens who lived there, or was it known that there was more of a range?
Mostly sirens. This is around a time before even the Dragonlords arrived.
How exactly did you manage to piss off a dead city?
She like thinks really hard for a minute. And then looks at you and just... Maybe I just gave him a weird look. Or stole something really important and buried it somewhere.
Sorry, what was that?
I
last
didn't
bit?
keep track of a lot of things. Or
Why
stole
would you
something important
bury
and buried it somewhere.
Why
I've
would you
made a
bury
lot of
something you steal?
quick exits, and sometimes it's easier to just cast a good old... Oh, wow, I'm blanking on the name. Mold Earth.
Old Earth.
Bury it temporarily and come back to the spot later, but generally I go back, so it's probably pawned off, if anything. Although I will admit there's a few things here and there that happened when I was less than sober, and I don't really remember where I buried them.
So you were like a drunk squirrel robbing rich people's houses?
That's not an inaccurate description.
To be fair, their security's shite.
Yeah, that was part of it. It was sort of funny how bad their security was.
How does ex-police officer Vander feel about this?
He just smiles vaguely, then looks serious for a second and looks at Tassie and says, Tassie, I owe you an apology. I judged you wrongly. I thought you were selfish. I thought you didn't care about anyone but yourself. But
That's not totally inaccurate, no.
you were just trying to protect people from being hurt. So I'm apologize.
Mostly just from myself, but then again, I still followed you guys around, so yeah, I think selfishness wins in the end.
I don't believe you.
Claiming unearned vice isn't exactly a good look.
Anyway, doom or no doom, we're in this together. It's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't know about anyone else.
Question. Out of character question. I don't know if this got addressed. Did you guys buy the orb that holds memories?
I did. Nobody else saw me buy it.
Okay. Just for my future reference.
Mic feedback off.
I do like the image of like, I have been walking right next to Zero this whole time with like a satchel bursting with like Savannah themed ornaments and shit that I don't know what to do with.
Low passive. Low passive. She doesn't know.
She doesn't
To
know.
be fair,
What
really
yet?
far down for you.
Really far down. She can never look at Miles's bag. That's like halfway down his person, which is at her knees. Like, no. Oh my god.
There's a lot of weird stuff in there.
She knows you're full of bugs, so she's like, I'm good.
And crusty socks apparently used for gagging
Socks.
prisoners.
For comedic effect, it's a bag of holding
Don't believe-
for Carrot Top style prop humor.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot use anything useful, but if it's funny,
Cesira does, in this lulled conversation, Cesira does look at Tazia. You are pretty drunk. But can I hug you? Because I very much thought you were dead, so I thought correctly. Looks at Miles. I thought correctly and you were dead, but you are not dead any longer. Of which, despite the fact that you believe yourself bad luck and having an aura of doom, I'm very happy you are alive.
Look, you thought she was dead. I thought she was alive. We were both correct.
I said she super died.
You're technically wrong. I got shot through the throat. I died. I was dead. And I only woke up a couple hours ago, so I was dead until a couple hours ago. So whenever you said that, you were probably wrong. At least until... I don't know what time it is, but... So this time...
Like the middle of the day.
Which will kind of look at the zero. I guess if one hug wouldn't kill me. What should Carl's like?
Just
look at you.
Stab her into a hug. Oh, it does not squish her to death, but it's
Your
just
eyes pop out of your skull.
Like a squeak toy.
I'm still fragile.
I'm still fragile. No, just one big fuzzy chin sits on top of her head for a second, then she carefully pats Tassia on the back and lets her go. Okay. You look like shit, though, and you are done drinking whatever was in that wineskin, so.
Yeah, you threw it away from me. I know I'd have to walk over there and get it.
No, you don't. I'm going to feed it to the baby. None for you.
As you look into the wineskin, the baby is sniffing at it. Yeah.
It's not yet, Steffi. In a few years.
We all thought different things when we thought of baby. Some thought of dragons. It's just like, you're giving it to the dragon? It's a 0.
I mean, alcohol is flammable. Who knows, you might give his belly a jump start.
You hear a heavy, quick 3 raps at the door that immediately opens. Kyra, sweeping in, surprise on her face as she spots you, Tassia, and she runs up to you and like hugs you. And
over her shoulder, she's looking at everybody and going,
She already knows.
I won't play it out,
Group
but
hug?
she basically says she was terrified. She's glad you're alive. She'd been searching the city for you and came back to find the rest of you. Then asks if it's true that what happened at the library.
nope, definitely not true. I was alive the whole time. I'm just really good at what I do. And she kind of like throws up in her mouth a little from like all the alcohol.
Yeah, I think she like briefly takes a whiff, but the room smells like fish anyway. And then she asks, but then she says, "Well, you look terrible." And then she casts magic and heals you a little bit. She technically can't. I don't know why. But
She does some magic and you're better.
let's just say, what is this? She doesn't actually have anything because that would be overpowered for a GM NPC. But I don't know. She does some magic and casts Cure Wounds on you.
I think the goddess can have a 1st level cleric spell as a treat.
Yeah.
This has been a really exhausting night.
Get 26 hit points back.
It's literally like 8 in the morning.
I think I'm gonna.
Remind me, I got a short rest worth, or was that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I technically could spend 2 more hit points too. So.
Hit die, yeah. To take away your exhaustion. Yeah.
Oh, I can take away my exhaustion too?
With spending hit die, yeah. 1 hit die, 1 point of exhaustion.
I thought I couldn't. Short rest. Never mind. I don't use those hits. I made myself only 1 level of exhaustion instead.
Yeah, I think Kyra is happy you're alive. That much is evident. And for the time being, it seems that she buys the lie, but then just does say, "You all look as terrible as I do. I think at this point." She looks to Tassia. "You even worse."
That
Do-
good.
But did we have a plan for what we're doing? I've got a few things going on in the city, but there's no reason to delay unless you need some rest again.
I think we're all a bit tired, but I do believe the next order of business was to start looking into the terrible twosome a little bit. What's her face and her husband, what's his face, whose names I'm not even going to try to remember.
Septia and Trellis.
That, sure.
You both literally said
Nope.
different things. This is
Septia
why I
and
don't
Trellis.
do it.
Trellis like a trellised archway.
Okay, now I'll never forget it. That actually might help. Right.
I think we got one more thing added to the list here. Find these masked people from a drowned city. Have some words
Well,
with them.
it's the Lady of Coins and the Hydra and the forest destroying people.
Yeah, I'd say
Oh,
let's
yeah.
focus on the child sacrifices first. We do know
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
just get rid of them, it helps deal with that situation. So
I mean, yup.
if we kill 1 assassin, there's probably 4 more to come after me again. So
Well, we
I
will
say
just make our way killing all of them. So that
we
will
should-
not be a problem.
Stay near Tassia in the near future, not let her out.
Yes.
I think several someone's. I really don't want to just get caught with one of you because really they dealt with me much quicker than they should have been able to. In normal situations, I could have gotten away. That was not normal.
Few
Besides getting caught
questions.
with just one of us, think of the rumors that would start. Oof.
James-
Celebrities
In
a
are gonna think about
library?
image.
Is Wolfsbane...
I'm not talking about in the library, just talking about in general.
Yeah, the wolfsbane.
Mic feedback off.
Tassia is a werewolf.
Mic
Is-
feedback
confirmed.
on.
Is
Mic on.
Wolfsbane what?
It was never a stater.
But just the bottom half.
I think you should type that. Is it
He's a
common
He's a
or is it
goat
really
werewolf.
rare?
What is it? Where
goat?
It's relatively rare.
Caesar would bring that up. Tassia, is there any connection to wolfsbane that would make sense to you based on the people that attacked you?
I would assume no. That reminds me though, I'm gonna buy poison and put it on my weapons so when I stab him back next time, it hurts just as much.
Actually, James, I just realized I didn't give myself medicine, but Nick does know a little bit about herbs for backstory reasons. Would wolfsbane have any particular meaning?
Do you have a proficiency in herbalism kit?
I super don't, but my mom did.
Yeah, not really. Knowledge nature check is about the
Okay.
best you can do.
Fuck it, man. I'll give it a try. It's plus like 2, I think.
Yeah,
It's
the
It's
name
my second 12 today.
for Tassia, the word
That's
Wolfsbane.
No,
doesn't-
you got 23.
Hell yeah.
For Tassia, the name doesn't ring any bells. For you yourself, Nick, you recognize or you're aware that wolfsbane is a relatively rare flower. It has purple petals and generally grows in mountainous areas certainly away from more civilized ones. You're aware that you actually saw Wolfsbane on your walk up to both the necropolis and the Temple of the Oracle.
Someone will be seated while Andrew tries to find the map.
We head back that way, point it out so we can get some of our own.
The Wolfsbane, for the
entirely
most part,
different areas.
was just the scent. You're not sure if it has anything to do with the poison. But you are aware that
One of the
it is often used in cures for curses.
X played The Witcher, he knows that.
Interesting.
Ozzy, you mentioned one of the factions that you pissed off is Cult of the Snake, and what else? No?
Probably most uber religious groups. Generally, they
Mic feedback
do
off.
some sort
Mic
of
off.
religious sign when I walk past.
Yeah, but specific, like there was a second name that you mentioned, and I just don't remember it. What was it? Or was there not, and I'm just
Second name.
misremembering?
It was
Alright,
either her
that's
like
fine.
home village, because she knows a lot of them like also think she really should not have survived that accident. And then yeah, the Cult of the Snake. And honestly, for both of them, she really wasn't sure. Like, it seemed extreme for either of those groups to really want to kill her. Either way.
Well, congratulations, you finally joined the Trauma Pity Party. Took you damn near long enough.
I was always there, you just didn't know about it. She kind of like pokes him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should sleep this off. I don't know if you're going to be walking very much in present condition.
Oh, I could barely walk before I started drinking. I need to sleep. And she kind of like starts crawling towards her bed. Sorry, I thought I muted myself there. She like crawls towards the nearest bed.
Mic feedback
You're
off.
all
Mic on.
We will be here.
welcome to take a short rest. Or if you want to spend another 48 hours long resting, you're welcome to do that as well. You have the funeral of the Amazons tomorrow night, but tonight you have no commitments, no events on. The city of Mytros is once more hit with torrential rain, apparently. You thought you got rid of that, but apparently you didn't.
We've destroyed all rain forever. Farmers hate him.
Somewhere in the middle of the night, can I
Well,
please
it's
just
during
place...
the day, so early.
Oh,
It
well,
is
somewhere
the middle of the morning, guys.
in the middle of sleeping. We've been up all night.
Yeah.
Or we've been up for, yeah. But I will place the... She's called the Flame Dancer, so I'm going to place the staff that gives her a revive if she gets knocked unconscious.
The
I'm going
spear.
to place it on... I'm going to place it...
It's the dancing flame, and it's a spear.
Alright, whatever.
What did you call it? The flaming dancer.
Flaming staff. Yeah, I'm just going to place it...
Local burlesque.
I'm going to place it on Tassia, like maybe tuck her hand into... Hand around it.
You're welcome to
Okay.
attune to it, Tassia. I think. Is that the intention? Or is this just going to keep going back and forth? Whoever's attuned to it gets the benefits. Whoever just wields it has a magic weapon.
I will not let her die again, so this will give her an automatic revive if someone tries to assassinate.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been real weird if it was very convenient for me that you didn't have the spear at the time.
Yeah, what if she blew up the library? Damn.
Yeah.
That would be unfortunate.
Cassie is labeled a domestic terrorist.
Now she really is. Not on everyone's, not very high on everyone's like list. Kara, for her part, just stays in the room playing the music, and Saphirian crawls up with Vanda. You're able to rest until the late afternoon, early evening.
Does Azira sleep?
I don't. She wasn't exhausted. Like, she is set up near the door and does not seem very interested in getting a proper sleep right now.
Yeah.
No,
So the way,
not really.
yeah, the way I run it is every 24 hours that you don't sleep, you have to roll a Constitution save that increases by 5 for each consecutive day. So Cesara could go for like 5 days without sleep without it affecting her if she rolls well. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Oh, wait,
staying up.
now.
She looks at Tassia in the bed like 6 times before looking at Vander if he's awake.
Yeah, he's probably chilling a little bit too, because I did pretty well on my con save, so. And it'll just not.
She'll be back and she looks at Nick and nods and heads out to the hallway.
Mic feedback off.
Cool. I will rummage around in my bag and sort of pull out this little glass ball that I don't remember any other details about other than it's a remember all is what I wrote down.
Mic feedback on. Mic on.
I know that Alice is claiming that she's
Mic
gonna help you
feedback
fix your
off.
memory, but
Mic off.
Maybe.
I'd prefer it if none of us have to rely on her too much. Just, I don't know, wiser that way. But I found this and I thought, I don't know, it might help. And I'll sort of just like hold it up for. It's got a memory in it. Not entirely sure whose. But I think that you might be able to record over it with your own. So as you start to remember things, you might be able to use it to help with recall.
Thank you, Nick. She's kind of spinning it around and taking a look at it. If that is how it works, that I can put a memory in it.
DM, is that how it works?
Mic feedback
You're not
on.
sure.
Mic on.
Yeah, we're not sure, but
Did I not, like... I just, we were, like, Tassie was being killed, so I didn't ask for that much clarification. But, like, I was when I bought this, I'm like, hey, what does this do?
Hey, James, you did say last time. You did say last time that someone could put a memory in it, but right now it
I
has
did.
someone else's killed someone who has killed memory.
No.
So normally hunters use it, right?
Well, it can only hold a single memory at a time, and the moment you, bless you, overwrite a memory, the old one disappears. That much you do know. At the moment, it does have a centaur hunter, not a hentor santa. Centaur hunters vision from their perspective of them hunting a great stag along the plains, or what was the term? Like, not caribou, deer.
Elk?
What are the African? No,
Antelope?
antelope. Little Grecian. There's an Arab oryx and a great oryx.
ooh, big boy.
Yeah.
But no, Cesira spins it around and seems to watch the memory a few times, and she seems genuinely touched. Even if I do not ask Valis for
Feedback off.
my memories back, or if that is not exactly how it goes down. This is very thoughtful, and I will certainly put it to use, I think. Or if I suppose we... As always, it seems like everything we find has some sort of greater use and purpose, but this is nice, and thank you.
Yeah, sure.
How?
Right.
Yeah. But if he starts to move, she fucking grabs him by the collar. Is like, before we do go back with the others, how are you overall, based on talking with Valis, everything that has happened with your father? Though, do not think he gets to claim the title of parent properly, but for all your joking, how are you doing?
What makes you think any of those were jokes?
You are a wily one, so probably there is like, you would be like, well, they all have an interweaving of truth. Not all of them are jokes, but we are all well aware that you make your shitty little jokes and your wisecracks to avoid the emotion and having to grapple with it. So that aside, I don't think because of it. I think people get put off of asking how you are actually feeling. So here I am doing it. You can't run down the hallway because I will catch you.
You just got your proficiency in therapist's tools, huh? All
I
right.
don't- I-
Yeah, give it to him.
Wish I knew what that meant, but yeah.
Fine. As he is not dead, so that's one less. Which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Also means that I didn't have to deal with Alice, which is even better. I'm finding myself actually starting to care for this city, which I'm not entirely sure is a good thing.
I mean, the hope was to eventually kick out your father, right? The ideal, or at
That's a word for it.
yeah, that is one way to phrase it, but
To plant, usurp, murder.
kick, yeah. That I didn't want to say that one, but yeah, that super being the case. I feel like a lot of the issue that the leadership, however it comes about on this island, a lot of the issue comes from the fact that they don't care. So even if you haven't gotten on the sort of path to removing him, better that you start to care. That you have the beginning for it, so you do not follow in his footsteps. That is not such a bad thing.
Let me just keep an eye on Asia, right? Clear that she blames herself for people dying, and when you do that, you tell yourself not to care about people because you think that's what gets them killed, and that simply isn't the case.
Not the way to go about it, no. But yes, keep an eye on Tassia. Keep an eye on all of us. It is.
Also, if you can spare the other one, keep an eye on Echo.
I have 2 eyes. And ears, and a multitude of other senses. Honestly, I'm going to, for the most part, going to be keeping an eye on all of you, because clearly we all need it. So, you are not exempted, neither is Vander, despite whatever you may all do to pretend you are fine. Nobody talks enough, but also they talk immensely too much on this fucking island, so. It is bizarre. But yeah.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Thunder probably deserved it. And I walk away.
I don't know. She rubs it in her face like.
As the evening comes and you finish up your short rest, how about we take a short rest of our own and be back at 15:15?
I thought you
Wait.
said Vander deserved it. And I was
Vander deserved whatever happened to him. Get fucked.
There is no
Oh my
dragon. Your mom
God.
left.
oh no! Oh my god!
Wow.
Can't say that.
Bender listening at
My
the door
God.
cries.
Oh
There
my
is no
god.
dragon. Hexia is just a nice dwarf lady from social services.